What's up everyone, it's Gabby Trace and welcome back to the channel. Well, major crypto bottom signal is flashing after a week of a complete roller coaster, so we'll cover all that and much more as we have some catalysts that we need to discuss this week. But before we jump in, you guys, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. If you're new here, also click the small bell so you never miss a live breakdown when I'm here with you. Now, last week we saw all-time highs across crypto and TradFi markets, which were all fueled by a cool CPI report. Then come a day later, Thursday's hotter than expected PPI, which is producer price index, sparked a renewed inflation fears and rate cuts postponement speculations. Now, that was really the definition of a roller coaster, what we saw last week. And markets really lowered expectations slightly for a rate cut in September, which, if you guys remember, was around 95% and now is down 10% to 85%, which means that the broader sentiment remains bullish overall, right? It's still 85%. So that's pretty much a lot still. So there is nothing to worry about. Let's have a look over here. As you can see, Fed Watch tool, we have 85.4% chance for a rate cut right now in September, which, you guys, is next month. Can you believe that? It's already going to be September in like 2 weeks. But more to that, right? We have also lots more catalysts this week that we need to be looking out for, which are very important. Over here, we have Fed Chairman Powell speaking, and then we have the Jackson Hole Symposium. Now, this is going to be Fedman Chair Powell speaking, especially on rate cuts that could really ignite momentum, right? So markets are already pricing in high odds for September cuts. We already saw that. But the Friday dip, why was that? In front of all these news that we're having right now, do you think this week, do you think that this was potentially like sell the news type of mood where investors were pretty much profit taking ahead more data and Fed commentary from Jackson's Hole? Because this is going to be big. More to that, by the way, we also have earnings this week. So we're going to be looking at Target. We're going to be looking at Home Depot and Lowe's. Now, all of these are coming this week, and this could influence the market sentiment. Why? Especially because they could reflect the tariffs and consumer trends, right? So you can think about it like that. If Powell strikes a dovish tone, markets could surge again. If he remains cautious, that would mean that the Friday dip could widen even further. So like we said, we're really looking at two scenarios over here. Likely bounce if Powell is hinting at easing and providing clarity, and if retailers earnings don't disappoint. That is scenario one. And then scenario two, if inflation data remains sticky or Powell pushes back on cuts, deeper retracement is possible. We always need to be prepared for both scenarios. Now, over the weekend, we had also some interesting news over here. I posted on Twitter as well, you guys, as soon as I saw it. Basically, we had President Trump met with the Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska. That is actually marking Putin's first visit to a Western locale since the Ukrainian invasion. Now, the two were having a really nice tone, and they were seeking a full peace deal rather than just talking about ceasefire. But anyway, there was no formal agreement announced. Now, notably, Trump paused plans for further sanctions or tariffs against countries importing Russian oil, particularly China and India. Now, that immediately eased fears of disrupted supply. Now, think about it, right? Putin is playing a huge move over here because Trump was really threatening all these tariffs. And there you go. Putin just got on a flight and got in the US. So, geopolitically, that is actually raising concerns, right? Because what is happening right now? Are they aligning? Right? And if they're aligning, analysts are actually thinking, okay, this might weaken the Western unity position and broaden the Russian strategic positions, you guys. So if that is escalated, you guys, that could very simple inject more volatility to the global markets. So we need to be watching for these things because these two men are, the major string pullers over here at the very least is what I can say here. Now, first of all, let's see who's in the chat box. I'm seeing a lot of chats happening right here, but okay, that's because we restarted the thing. So basically we have Joe Maro, hello, Ancient Kritoshi is here, Ivanchu, Hendrik van Royer, good morning. That's a new face over here that we have. We love new faces. Gentine is here, Goedemorgen, and then we have Stanimir as well. You guys make sure you like that video, and if you're new here, subscribe. You're more than welcome. Pretz is also new here. So many new people, and we have Amir Mehtari as well. You guys more than welcome to be here. So you guys, you know how these things work. We're going over here. First thing we're gonna do is look at Bitcoin. All right, cool. Starting off with Bitcoin, you guys. So first thing we need to look out for, it's Monday, right? So if it's Monday, what are we looking out for? Especially we open the indicators that are available for everyone to get. Again, go in the description box and get them because they're very important. So the indicators over here, my indicators are suggesting that we have a little bit of a further downside over here with current target 114,217.9 on Bitcoin, right? So that's 114,218 almost. So that's what it's showing right now. Of course, this is Monday. You guys know how I'm looking at Mondays. We need to wait for Monday to develop. Now, one thing that I told my community, by the way, if you guys haven't joined the community, please join, because I already said these things last week. I said I want to see further downside for Bitcoin and Ethereum in order for me to maintain a bullish bias this week. Does that make sense? Anyone that is in Discord can confirm that, and I'm glad that we're seeing a little bit more of a pullback down here. Now, another thing that a lot of the people here watching me and that are part of my community for a long time now, you guys, they know that I trade something that's called the range model theory. Now, according to my range model theory, we're currently trading in a price leg for Bitcoin that is pulling back to a quite unattractive zone for me to start looking at buys. And this is exactly the 0.236 standing at 114,812,000 Bitcoin over here. So that is a little bit above the current target that we're seeing, which is a little bit down. However, you know, once we smash this target, I'm pretty sure that there might be some availabilities for us to look for buys. Of course, it is all going to depend on how today closes, right? Because this is going to be the moment where I can get my complete bias for the rest of the week. Because if today we have a massive reversal to the upside a little bit early on Monday, that is going to be for me a massive red flag for Bitcoin. Right, if that makes sense to you guys. So all of these things, again, what can we do over here? I want to show you guys how can you find all the information that you need to be worrying yourselves with. You need to click more under the description box down here. We have 51 people, only 22 likes, unacceptable. So what you can do, by the way, to find all the things that you're interested in, you come in the description box down here and you can find the current promotions that I have. I'm partnered with Bluffin. You can get $100 refund on any losses you take here. All the descriptions are in this link, and then you can get registered on the course waitlist for my strategy mentorship. You guys, very important you do that because you're gonna get discount, okay, that nobody else is going to get if you're registered on this wait list. And then of course you can get the trading indicators and join Discord. And if you're registered with this Bluffin link, you can get VIP access in the Discord as well. So these are some important things that I have to share with you. Going back to Bitcoin. So like we said, right? Like we said, overall, our bias is bullish for Bitcoin and crypto coming into the autumn period, right? Coming into the autumn period, I'm very bullish. But before that, obviously, we are due to experience some rangings, some pullbacks. So these things are completely normal. So from here on, we're going to take it week by week up until we have the following quarter kicks in, right? So we have July, we have August, we have September, and then the following quarter is going to be October, November, December. Does that make sense? This is going to be the last quarter of the year. So when October starts, this is when I'm going to be getting increasingly bullish. Right now, it is going to be play it by the week scenario over here, you guys. This is what I wanted to show you. Okay. Hold on, if I can open here. If I can open here my futures position so I can show you what I have over here. No, I'm not really signed in. But anyway, like moving on. Ethereum. So Ethereum, all of you guys that are on Discord, you know very well that I'm short. Now, what have we been talking for the last week? We had a massive resistance area over here for Ethereum, right? Massive resistance area, which is this little block sort of that I've organized here for you in the charts. This was 4,800. Can you see exactly how we rejected from that point? Now, we have been prepared for this area again with the help of my indicators. There is no other way you can get that specific of a confirmation. If you don't have the indicators, there is no way you could know that, to be honest with you. Right? I trade technical analysis. I understand a lot of the strategies out there, if not 90% of the people, whatever they're trading out there, I do understand it. So it is very, very hard to figure that out. But if you have the indicators, you will see that formation over here, which was formed back in November 21, right? In November 21. So you will have this confirmations back from 2021. Do you understand? So when price reaches these levels, you are prepared and you know that this is a historical level that you need to be very, very careful at what price is doing over there. This is what I wanted to quickly show you here. For Ethereum, of course, we had liquidity left again from December 2021. So after all of this was taken over here with these two candles on a daily time frame, we smashed into the zone of interest and then we are rejecting. Now, as we know, it is very clear that here we have some levels that we're looking out for a retracement, right? So today, the way Ethereum is playing, I need to be paying very close attention to Bitcoin and Ethereum because last week we identified together, if you remember, you guys make sure you like the video, don't forget that. So last week we identified which asset is going to be weaker. So we identified that in case of a pullback, Bitcoin is going to be the weaker asset, right? So on this Ethereum short over here, I'm up like 350 almost, I don't even know, probably I reached 400% at some point down here with this short, which was really, really nice, and I keep holding it until I get confirmation for long. Now, to be honest, you guys, even though it's a little bit early in the day, looking on the daily time frame, I can tell you that you do not want for price to close below here. You do not want that on a daily time frame. You do not want to have a body close over here, because if you do that, this is going to tell us that we're going to get even further pullback to the downside. So you can see how price is reacting from these levels right now, and this is not a coincidence, right? This is literally a level that needs to be rejected right now. Otherwise, the consequences could be a little bit bigger than what we expect over here. Welcome everyone. I know everyone is very focused once I start speaking about Ethereum or the market, but I want you guys to keep the chat box active. I know that the information I'm giving you is very, very important, but I do appreciate if you guys, okay, I've liked the video at least 22 times already. Thank you, Adrian. Smash that like, you guys. Thank you. Dottie, the indicators are awesome. Yes, they are. Okay, so I'm not gonna be shouting too much because I'm losing my voice, but this is very important over here, you guys, right? So it's either gonna be now or never, pretty much, or not really never, but the pullback might be a little bit not very nice. So if you are I'm not personally, right? But if you are very, very brave, you'll be like, okay, this is worth a shot from over here, right? Because you don't want to be facing confirmation for further shorts, because this confirmation is going to take the standard deviation way lower, right? Way lower if we get that confirmation, all right? So we don't want that to happen whatsoever. Bitcoin is as well at a buy zone, right? This is what you want to be looking out for. Let me just repeat that, make that clear, right? You don't want to be looking only at the altcoins and be like, okay, the altcoins are looking for a good buy, but Bitcoin is looking terrible right now. Even though ETH, BTC have to be aligned, you need to understand that everything needs to be at sorts of buy zones for us to take some decisions to add further to the confluences, right? To add further to the confluences. So over here, we're adding further to the confluences because Bitcoin is at a buy zone, 0.236 of the current range. Does that mean that price could go up and reject at the 0.5? Yes, of course it can. It can reject at 0.5 and we can drop down. Even that is possible, right? But it's also possible that we reject from the 0.236, which is the more probable outcome, that we dropped, which we did, and then we come back and we retest the 0.786 and we forward some sort of a range before we exit that range to a specific side. Right now, all these things are on the table, but it's important. What is the short-term bias? What is the short-term confluence telling you right now? The short-term confluence is that we should bounce from here according to the technicals that I'm personally using, right? I don't know what everyone else on YouTube is doing. I really don't care, but this is what my analysis is doing. And that's why, you guys, I encourage you very, very strongly to find one method, right? Especially the guys that have been watching me here on a daily basis for months on end and days. I can tell you that they understand what I'm saying right now exactly in the charts and what's happening. They can already read it. Now, when you add that further to the mentorship that I'm going to be starting in September, you guys make sure you join. And there you go. Like, I removed the page over here, but we can restart it. Hold on. We'll do that right now. Make sure you join down here. Make sure you drop in the description box and get into the strategy course waitlist, because it's not only that you're going to get discount, but you're going to learn my specific methods, which are going to be important for you guys, right? Because if you have 1,000 different methods and 1,000 different people that you're watching, you're going to get absolutely confused, right? You need to take it step by step and you need to decide, okay, this is what I'm going to be learning for the next month or two. And until I master that, I'm not going to move until I master, I'm not going to move to anything else. This is what I wanted to tell you guys over here. All right, so like I said, very important for Monday to develop over here for Bitcoin, for Ethereum. We want this price action to develop today. But I encourage you and I encourage myself to watch mainly for Bitcoin and to realize which asset is going to be stronger over here. Just by the first look at what Bitcoin and Ethereum is doing right now, it seems to me that Ethereum is going to be the stronger asset. So that's what I confirmed so far. Yes, hit the like button, you guys. So that's it. Let's have a look at Sol real quick. Over here, what do you know? What do you know? You guys understand and you learn way more in the mentorship. What I'm looking out for, usually I look out for at around the 0.2 of the standard deviation. The way I draw it, I like to take profit at around the 0.2. Now, last week it looked a little bit impossible, especially bouncing from support over here at the 1.5 that we're gonna get the 2, but here it is. We got the 2 at the standard deviation. We almost got the 2, right? We almost got the 2. So all of this area here is still possible for a pullback on Solana for today. But again, to me, this is added confluence over here, just like we looked last week, that we might continue this journey to the upside. And this was just a little bit of a breather, right? But again, I want you to be prepared, because this is the summer period time. So we're looking at August, we're looking at September. If we don't get the rate cuts in September, which even though we're pricing at 85% right now, you never know what Powell is going to do. You do not know that, especially if the data keeps coming in a way that is going to support him to not rate cuts. It is possible that he might delay that, right? And in my opinion, it is actually indeed very possible, even though we're looking at 85% right now. Because when are the rate cuts actually in September? Let's go and have a look. Let's go and have a look. What are we looking at? 17th of September. You know what, you guys? 17th of September is not too bad, because 17th of September is already going to be like sort of coming into the middle of the month. And then for me, October is going to be bullish. That's my bias according to the strategies that I trade. So it might be, right? It might be possible that we get a rate cut in September, but then the effects of that are going to roll over into October as well. So yeah, you know, you want to be looking out for pullbacks, and you want to know that whatever pullbacks you get right now, they're going to be quite nice, and potentially the last pullbacks you get before price expanding and completely going crazy during you know, until the rest of the year, because you know, you guys, we're getting closer to that end. Does that make sense? Good morning, Jacek. Good morning, Jacek. Dottie's agreeing with me. October bullish and November. Props a tiny rate cut in September. Trump knows he needs Powell, ancient Kurtoshi. Yeah, man. I mean, I agree completely over here. Like, they need each other. He needs the rate cuts. We need the rate cuts. This is all clear. So, you know, there is high probability. We're looking at 85% right now, 85%. So, you know, by all it's done and said, I think, you know, they might go up to like 65% or something like that. So there will be still more catalysts, but let's have a look how it's going to develop, right? We're at 85% right now. Last week we were at 95%. That's literally a 10% drop. So up until the rate cuts period, we might see 50%, 55% odds. You know, people are going to get even more and more confused because the data is always contradictory, right? It's very important what he's going to say today. But again, levels for the price action are at buy levels right now. So this is what I care about, and this is what I look out for. And we really don't want for levels to drop down further, because that is going to be unacceptable. Same thing for Solana, right? If we start getting body closes on a daily here below 173, not even 173, 174.5. If we start getting body closes below 174.58, this is not going to be looking good at all. So we don't want to be seeing that right now, and I don't think that we'll be seeing this right now. But any pullbacks are going to be pretty welcome, because if we see that drop over here and we have a body close, oh boy, we might start dropping even further, right? We might start retesting zones that we're not expecting to retest anymore, because we want the altcoins to run. But if that happens, because everything is possible, it is still going to be a buy opportunity. But we don't want to be the ones missing any buy opportunities right now that present themselves. And today, I think it's one of those opportunities that is starting to brew right now. And again, Ethereum is showing way more strength. Bitcoin is completely showing absolute weakness right now, which to me is identifying that, again, alts are going to pick up more, and Bitcoin, it is just going to stay in some sort of a range, right? In some sort of a range over here. God knows how big or small. It might even exit to the downside, might, you know, I don't know if we're going to see new all-time highs up until the end of the year, but Bitcoin is not something that I'm concerning myself with. I want to be paying attention to the altcoins mainly, and Ethereum, Solana, etc., because they need to run right now. I think Bitcoin is going to get definitely another push to the upside, but I don't know if it's going to be as strong as everyone is saying, like 250 and all these kind of stuff. You guys, make sure you like that video today, and I hope that that was a good update for you guys on the major majors over here. What else can we look at? Let's look at Nasdaq real quick over here. So the thing about Nasdaq is, right, we're also pulling back right now. But Nasdaq is also coming into buy zones over here. And don't forget, I said to you that I'm expecting for Nasdaq to be pretty much traveling up to these areas over here. So 24,600, 25,200, 94, and even 25,900, almost 26K, right? So that's a trip that needs to happen all the way until like whatever the end of the year. So overall, very bullish, right? We're gonna get essentially some sort of a pullback, which we are right now, but is it going to be the last? Very possible. So don't forget that the statement, the market is still bullish, right? There is absolutely no reasons for us to be panicking right now. All right, we can look at Sei over here real quick. Sei. Let's look at Sei, you guys, as well today. Well, look at that over here. We had two scenarios last week coming into Sei. We had one pullback within the first resistance over here, and we had scenario number 2 pullback to the second support slash resistant SR, which is at 0.3170. So we're pretty much reached that level. Right now we're maybe in some sort of a area of interest over here. So potential pullbacks for that to that area are possible because we came into the buy zone and now it's pretty much all support, right? It's pretty much all support. We already tapped into that support once over here, which is a support that is here from September 2024. Yes, exactly. September 2024, we found that support over here. So we've been using that support now. Finally, that we came into the levels over here, we can see that we've rejected once from it, broke it, rejected twice, and now price is very determined that is going to hold this area. So this is what you want to be looking out for, right? For Sei as well, like we said. Yes, you guys. Yes, very important. Also leave a comment after we finish today's live stream. It really helps. And you know what I thought I'm gonna do, you guys? Who's here? Lucian, good morning. Jesse is here as well, Jesse. And then Chimdi Frank, hello. We have lots of new names here, you guys, today. Adrian Hernandez, hello everyone. You guys, thank you so much for being here. Make sure you like the video, subscribe if you're new here, because we get over here absolute on top analysis, top, right? We get literally everything to the T over here. XRP. You guys, let's look at XRP real quick together. All right, we're trading deep into the buy zone over here, but don't forget, we're indeed still into the buy zone, right? We're still in the buy zone over here. So XRP is looking fine as well. In fact, it's getting into a very nice area here as well. So everything is pretty much aligning. Unfortunately, we did have a sell setup over here, right? We did have the sell setup, and now we are having the buy setup again. Right? So all of these things pay very close attention to that, because XRP is also at buy zones, Ethereum is at buy zone, Solana is at buy zone, Bitcoin is at buy zone. Everything is looking fine. So XRP over here, that's what we have to say for XRP. And I think XRP is going to perform great as well. All right. Do you have any requests, you guys, that you want me to look out for? No problem. I just want to know, where is my voice, you guys, honestly? Besides the fact that I've been crying all morning because they will take my the pet that I've been pet sitting for 5 weeks now. It's going to go next week, and I'm very sad. Okay, so if that's everything on our front, you guys, let's have a look at Bitcoin futures. Bitcoin futures. All right, we're getting back into the zone of support as well, so not much to say of their aerodrome. What is this? This is something that I don't think I've seen. Dude, what is that? Am I looking at the right chart? This is a range bound chart. So, oops. I mean, I hope I'm looking at the right chart, but I don't know, man. Like, is it? Is it not? So yeah, just give us a little bit of a majors here. Nothing new, right? Nothing new that doesn't have price action from before. Not interested in that. You know what? In fact, I just saw BNB over here. Let's have a look at BNB. Yeah, BNB is just absolutely smashing it, man. Oh my god, why is just BNB so great? Absolute greatness. Maurice Van Kooten, how do you get the indicators? Now, again, you guys, what you need to do is get under the video over here, right? The description box of this video, click more, and you will see my trading indicators over here, right? My trading indicators. I have made a video on YouTube on how you can use these indicators. So make sure you go ahead and check this video. You can join Discord as well. And with the Bluffin promo that I've made for you guys together with Bluffin, you can get $100 refund. Like all these things you can find down here, and you can use this to get a VIP entry on Discord. Very important, you guys. All right, cool. So Jantine, Velo. See, Velo, I like Velo. Yeah, whatever. Let's look at Qcoin over. Do I hold that still though? I don't even remember. Not looking so great. On the daily. We have some more downside, it seems. On Velo down here. Weekly, yeah, potentially. Unfortunately, the chart is very bearish, so I wouldn't hold my breath for like anything insane over here. So yeah, daily is not looking that hot right now. So I'd probably wait for a little bit distribution to the downside over here before I do anything. But I wouldn't hope for like massive gains on this, to be honest with you. So just FYI, be careful with very bearish charts like this. I think we've discussed that several times already over here. Link. Quick look at Link over here. So the thing is, Link is at the 0.5, rejected from the 0.5, which is at $26.6. As you can see, it's a bit of a you know, too precise rejection from an area. So this is what happens when everything comes at an area. It starts to reject, right? It starts to reject altogether. So let's have a look first on the 4-hour time frame. What's happening over here? Overall, pretty strong. It should break the 0.5. It should break the 0.5. It doesn't have any reason why not to. In case of any deeper pullbacks, I can see here on the weekly. If it happens, $22.9. If it happens, it's going to be like a very nice area of support. Over here, we also have one more support down here at $20 as well. But overall, it should break because it's coming from the 0.236, right? It shouldn't reject the 0.5. It should break it, and it should trade straight into $41 over here at the very least, right? At the very least. At the very least, it should trade to $41 because that's the next area according to the price range on Link over here. So are we gonna get more than that? I'm not someone that can guarantee you that because I have no idea and nobody has any idea, right? If you get any influencers telling you, hey, this thing is gonna go beyond $50 or whatever, I don't know, they're probably paid to do so. So I wouldn't really take it too hard much. So be careful. All right, be careful. Yes, lots of Dutch people here. I love Holland and I love Dutch people. So thank you so much for being here, you guys. You guys understand quality, so appreciate that. So ICP is not bad overall. You know, ICP is looking good because we have here in a weekly time frame $21, almost $21 over here liquidity on ICP, so it's not too bad, and we're retracing right now in a buy zone over here, right? In a buy zone. I have tried to identify a bottom over here. This bottom is actually not identified, right? So you're looking at this range, but this is speculative, right? This is speculative because this range hasn't been identified yet. You're seeing a range formation over here. So, you know, marking the 0 at 4.1 for me, it's been simply speculating over here that this is going to be the bottom, right? But it's a massive range, so you might expect for price to drop below that. Actually, is going to be very likely, actually, because you have this range over here and you might want to clear it before you explode to the upside, right? Does that make sense? So you might be ranging over here and you might bring price lower because this from 0 to 1 is not a confirmed price range. This is just speculating. It's in general bearish price range still. It needs to break clearly for us to identify this as a range, right? So over here, we still have a chance for another drop. But then it's going to be quite nice because we're going to have an identified range, right? You wait for price to break, so you identify the range completely, not just speculate, what we're doing right now. And then it'd be quite hopeful, in my opinion. It'd be quite hopeful. Potential resistance at around the 0.5 of the new range, which we don't know what it's going to be. So we still have to wait on this, right? We still have to wait. So that's what we're going to do over here for ICP, but the upside is looking quite nice. The upside is looking quite lovely. Let's say even from here, that's almost 300%. Not bad at all, right? So if the range breaks to the upside right now, also happy days. But until it does that, we have to be cautious over here, right? We have to be cautious for another potential drop because essentially your buy zone extends over here. Look at that. Check this out. I'm going to show you right now. Again, with the help of my indicators, you guys, right? These formations over here, this is a buy zone, right? This is a buy zone over here, right? So it isn't a buy zone, but as you can see, right, the bottom is at 4.1 and it still has space up to like $2.7. So it is possible. It is possible, you guys. And I need you to appreciate that, right? Nothing is safe over here. This is crypto and this is a bear chart. This is a bear chart, right? So ICP, when you're looking at this, you're not hoping to get like $100 or something like that, because that would be insane, right? There is no indication that this is going to happen because this is a bearish chart right now. The only indication that you could potentially get $21, that's with the help of my indicators showing you where the liquidity lies. Without the indicators, there is no way you can know that, right? There is no way you can know that. Right? Especially if you're bearish right now over here, you'd be probably looking at $15 and a lot of people will exit at $50 and price is going to jump to $22 and people will be like, what the hell happened? How? Well, they don't have the indicators. So yes, we can look at arrow, no problem. Arrow USDT, we're looking at the spot chat over here. That's something that probably I wouldn't have been touching. Actually, do we have a perps chart over here? Hold on, we get the perps chart. Get the perps chart, not the spot over here. All right, looking at arrow right now. So again, a very bearish price leg over here, which is pretty identified actually. So we might as well just go and draw it over here. We might as well just go and set the ranges over here. So that's a very bearish price leg, right? When you look at that and you know, you've identified the price leg and price is at the 0.5. If price was rejecting like below over here, maybe a little bit of a concern. But the good thing is that on a weekly time frame, you had a break over here with a weekly candle. at the 0.5 area, which is not too bad, right? Which is not too bad in general. We pull the other indicators over here and we can see the overall situation right now. Yes, daily bearish fair value gap over here, probably the first one after this whole move down. I don't think it's left many bearish fair value gaps over here. So this was the first one that you're mitigating. But as you can see right over here, if you zoom in, you can see that the bear fair value gap was already mitigated once. Right, so that's a good thing because you're revisiting that area right now. You're revisiting that area, but more to that, you've left some buy zones as well. So that's not too bad. That's not too bad as well. This is on daily time frame, so this is a bullish order block over here, which you can look for support, and maybe not even, right? Maybe not even because you're trading at the 0.5, so price might as well just reject from right now, or just a little bit below. It doesn't even need to touch the buy zone because it's already at levels, right? And again, you want to be very, very cautious and careful at what price does at around $1.9, right? At around $1.9, because you want to make sure that you take some out here because you don't know if price is going to reject up here. Right? If this happens, you don't know if price is going to reject and do something like that. Very possible, right? I don't know. It might go up and make new highs. It might do something like this, reject and come retest the 0.5 and make new all-time highs. That is also on the cards. But yes, you guys, I'm starting to lose my voice over here. So thank you so much for being here today. It was very important for Monday to review the price action. And you guys, make sure you leave a like and a comment under this video so we can get the algorithm recognizing us a little bit more for doing such quality work over here. And thank you for everyone that's been sticking around, you guys. I hope you have an amazing Monday.